Have been experiencing severe water shortages over recent weeks.
Absolutely. In Hammanskraal, residents were left without water for more than 3 weeks. When water was restored, residents were warned not to drink the water as it's not safe for human consumption. Our colleague Patricia Visagie has been unpacking the story the entire morning. Patricia, what can you tell us now?
Well, thank you so much, Desiree here. I'm still in conversation with our guests that are actually helping to unpack this discussion on the ongoing water crisis here in Hammanskraal and really the rest of the capital city. And really just to remind you of who is in conversation with us here. On my right, I have the MMC for Utility Services, Mr. Abel Tao. Of course, he is here on behalf of the city of Tshwane. And there you can see the lobby group Not In My Name, represented by Mr. Zakes Mukwena, and here speaking on behalf of the residents of Hammanskraal, the community that's actually bearing the brunt. We are joined by, of course, Mr. Tumelo Kuiteng, who is here to tell us about how the community is affected. And just before the break, we were actually talking about the issue of how for a very long time the city seemed to have been in denial about the extent of the crisis, even though there were numerous of tests that were done that actually proved that the water was unfit for human consumption. And only a couple of months later, the city actually came on board, really accepting the situation, and seemingly now they're trying to do something about it. But maybe the problem now is really out of control and too big for the city to handle effectively, as one would have hoped. So let's go back to the lobby group, as we talked about the human right violation that is at the core of this crisis. And what does this say when there are tests done that actually prove to the city that the water is actually compromising the health of residents, but the city then still denies this?
Thank you, Patricia, once more. You see, our departure point, our starting point should be where we agree that there's a crisis. Once we all agree that there's a crisis, we'll be able to move forward in trying to solve the problem.
And I have to cut you there.
Yes.
Mr. Tao, you heard, we will only solve this problem once we all accept that there is a crisis, but you seemingly unwilling to accept that there is a crisis.
Look, I think the choice of word become very, very important. If we choose to say it's a crisis, then it's okay, because really semantics are not going to solve the problem. What will solve this problem is the plan. I spoke about being Now, I have always led from the front to say we need everyone on board. Number one, we have solicited the support of Department of Water and Sanitation. We have ensured that there's good intergovernmental relations between us and them. We know that the minister is on board, the deputy minister is on board. We have ensured that we present a comprehensive plan that seeks to deal with the issues of Hammanskraal. We have ensured that the accounting officer and the acting city manager, as well as the DG in the Department of Water and Sanitation, they have a forum where they meet regularly, and the professionals, the group head, as well as the head of the Department of Water and Sanitation in Gauteng. There are those meetings that happen on a regular basis. Planning is at advanced stages, and we ensure that we intervene. I mean, there was the reprioritization of the USDG grants to deal decisively with this problem, because the problem of Hammanskraal for many years has been decisions that were taken, and some of the decisions were not addressing the problem. And henceforth going forward is that the problem has been adequately identified, and because of the proper diagnosis of the problem that is there, we are responding to where the problem is as a city. And hence I will continue to say we don't have a crisis, because you have a crisis when you still have what you termed denial. You have a crisis when you don't have a plan in place. You have a crisis when you don't have an intervention in the meantime that is addressing the current situation as things stand. You have a crisis when you don't have a long-term plan. You have a crisis when all partners are still throwing stones at each other. But at this stage, you have a group of people led from the front by me, the deputy minister, the mayor, and everyone putting heads together to make sure that we deal decisively with the problem. We are on the ground, we are in the boardrooms, and we are everywhere where we need holistically to be dealing with the problem. And henceforth, I'm saying there is no crisis, but work is being done.
Okay, there is no crisis. You don't agree. You feel there is a crisis?
No, there is a crisis. Once you are given water, where they say, look, don't drink it because it's not good for consumption, it's a crisis. Yes, there will be tanks. It's a temporary solution. We can't have tankers supplying water to the community for life, forever. In the meantime, something should happen. But for now, we have a problem. This water is just not okay. You understand, Patricia?
Yeah.
And maybe the solution, I would be saying, let them try to get maybe water from Soshanguve. Because this issue of Rooiwal, it's there every time. It's going to keep coming and coming just like that. Let's have clean drinking water from Soshanguve, and then we'll be done with the issue of Rooiwal, which is just seems to be a continuous thing altogether.
Okay, just before I link to my colleague Sipho Stuurman, who's also standing by, I want you to wrap just by telling us, you also now getting involved on the ground. What will your plan of action be?
As an organization, hashtag not in my name, we are organizing clean drinking water. The target is 50,000 liters of water. I spoke to my SG this morning. He was busy doing some collection. Those liters of water will be delivered to the Hammanskraal police station tomorrow. From there, it will be given to or transported to the churches locally, so that it can be given to the community to try and alleviate the problem.
All right, thank you so much. There, of course, Mr. Zakes Mukwena, he is from the lobby group, Not in My Name. On that note, let's link to my colleague, Sipho Stuurman, who's standing by.
Sure. We're coming to you live from Unit D in Hammanskraal, where is a contrast from where we were earlier. I earlier said that we were in Stenkwater. I'd like to apologize to the viewers. We were actually in Refente. The name Stenkwater was an apartheid name that was actually changed earlier. But this is a stark contrast to where we were earlier, because where we were, the water provision there is supplied by Rand Water, and the place is in close proximity to Soshanguve, and it's always been under the Tshwane municipality. But now where we are, it was previously Buputatswana, and it was previously Northwest, and it now falls under Tshwane. But there are some serious water woes. But now what we're going to reflect on is a business that's currently underway here in Unit D, where you can say that they are selling food. But now there were some challenges for the past 3 weeks when there was no water here in Hammanskraal. So the guys running the business really had a difficult time actually operating here. But now I'm going to speak to Mpo, who's operating the eatery here in Unit D. Brampoza, kopompotse man. Challenge ya lona ibile nka 3 weeks ela ne lesna metsi vele mo loporitang.
Challenge ya o tlhoka metsi mo inile issue ya hore re delay a pay. Number 1, number 2, metsi ra kry metsi like late. So re thusa ke di lorry tse di tlang mo ke tshwanetse re se fang ka metsi. So immediately delay da pay o lose business.
Okay. Yeah. Under normal circumstances, le stato ho apea nako mangi, the customer di tla nako mangi, and then it affect up this thing.
Re start apea ka 7. Tomo we are dipisa ka 7, and then by 9 o'clock tshwanetse be di customer di acha. So re tshola metsi, re kry metsi ka bo 9, then the customer ka bo 9 di fitla di kry di situation di botse.
Mara problem e na le sebaka se ska nang ile ono vele, like because ke sebaka ka mkhokrutlwileng ba ne ba bua earlier.
Re setse re lata bokgwedi to kgwedi ya bobedi, cause ibile re na no re ngebe ra kra ka pele se re le motho kwa mara ke reservoir ya rene na no re ngebe re kra ka speed.
Okay. So that was Mpo actually explaining that, you know, the problems with water in the area is actually affecting the business because it delays them from preparing the food that they prepare around 7 under normal circumstances. And because now the tankers come a bit late, or sometimes they don't come at all, that has actually affected their business. But I'm going to try to speak to maybe one of the clients who buy the food here to find out how the water actually affects them. ke teng ne kopo botsisa gore lena tabe ya metsi e le tshwara bjang pila veng
tabe ya metsi a ya re tshwara ha botse e bile tlhoka boroko mo rena because so sna metsi a ona anything e re khona go ija a ona anything e re khona go enwa especially ebile le go dikolong tsa bana e affected thata because ba berekisa di toilet tsa metsi tsa go phula so ho sna metsi total a ona sekolo and ho sna metsi total ra re ba boela morao ka dithuto so e affected thata mo Hammanskraal, especially Hammanskraal o ka re ba undermine than area tse ding, especially mo di areas tsa bo Mahanske kana view bo unit 7 then no sna metsi all together but ba zamile o try to deliver metsi ka di lorry so di lorry tsone di sa afford batho so batho ne ntse ba tlhoka metsi le ona ba nong a teng metsi still a se re anwa re reka metsi ntse a le teng so ke yona challenge e kholo e leng mo yona especially mo di garaging go ke bereka go teng no sna metsi no toilet and then I khone go bereka sna metsi anything and then metsi a leng teng a affecta bana a lodisa bana tshela bana kholera.
Well, the gentleman basically was saying that, you know, the lack of water in the area has cost them sleepless nights because even where he works, there was no water, so it meant they were not able to use the lavatory. So they would have to literally close shop because it's so unhygienic, you know, where they are working. And it's also saying that it affects schooling in the area because now children are not able to stay at schools when there's no water to flush and everything. So it's a major setback for schooling in the area and business as well. As you know, without water there's no sanitation and there's no hygiene, so the business was actually affected in that manner, but we'll keep on roving around Hammanskraal to paint a picture of the challenge that has been posed by water shortage here in Hammanskraal. And with that, it's back to studio.
Well, certainly there, my colleague Offense Sitimo, they're speaking to the residents, and as the city continues to say, there is no crisis. Residents on the ground say they're even having sleepless nights. So to continue with the discussion on the ground, let's now for real link to my colleague Sipho Stilman on the other side.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Patricia, once more, and our viewers at home. Where we're coming from now, this is Apis River near Hammanskraal in Themba. Now, this river is what supplies the people of Hammanskraal and Themba, and we thought perhaps we should bring you to it, and you can just see the visuals of this river and the quality of the water. It is looking very brown, it is looking very dirty. Even the smell of it is not appeasing, but this is the water that is supposed to be cleaned by the purification plants that are around here. And let me speak to one young man who is quite well versed with the situation here. Frank, thank you very much. If you can just please introduce yourself and just talk to us about where we are.
Thanks, Sipho. My name is Frank Nkwanyane. I'm a resident of Hammanskraal. Now we are at Apis River, which happens to be a source of water for the people of Themba. As you can see, the water is highly contaminated. This is the source that gives the people of Themba water to drink.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I see there's some residents that are still fishing here, and there's also, but still this horrible smell. What is the situation?
As far as my understanding, as you can see, people are fishing. Perhaps I'm aware that they are not aware of the water situation, or rather the crisis that this water is in. This water is highly contaminated, and the people of Hammanskraal are aware, some are not aware, that this water is highly contaminated, and the city is supposed to clean this water.
So the city is supposed to clean this water. Currently, our production is based at the Themba, cleaning purification plant. So does this water go to Themba for cleaning before people drink it?
As far as my knowledge, Apis River is a source of water for the people of Themba. And where we are stationed now, this is where the water is supposed to be drawn to go up there to get purified.
And as far as my knowledge, the water is highly contaminated, and the Temba purification plant can't really do what it's supposed to do.
We have the officials there at Temba Purification Plant. We are here by the water. What is your message when you see this water that's supposed to be drunk by people? It's quite dirty, it smells funny, and this is supposed to be the water for human consumption. So what is your message to the officials that are there with my colleague Patricia?
I'm sure the MMC is aware of what's happening here. He knows that we have a problem there upstream by Rival. They're supposed to get the drive there. They're supposed to fix everything that has went wrong there by Rival, so that when the water runs down the stream here by Abyss River, it's not this highly contaminated. So they must get there, everything right there by Rival, so that when the water reaches Temba, everything is in order.
So officials must get everything right. I want Wayne, my colleague, to just give you more of this shot, and I'm not sure if it's quite visible how dirty it is, but it is really concerning that we have, Abyss River water looks to be this contaminated. There is a lot of water weeds, which suggest that the water is pollinated. So we really do. It does need attention. It does need people to take this matter seriously, because this is the water that people are supposed to be drinking, but it's not looking very good. And the message here from Frank is that officials need to fix the purification of the water, both from the Royval plant and also the Temba plant, and make sure that the people of Hammanskraal and Temba drink clean quality water. And with that, from the Abyss River near Temba, it's back to you, Patricia. Quality water, and with that, from the Abyss River.
Well, thank you, Sipa Steerman there. MMC, you and Frank are no strangers to each other. He's actually giving you sleepless nights as he continues to push for action to ensure that the water crisis here in this area is resolved. You heard him again really saying something needs to be done urgently. The matter has been going on for too long. It's not something that started this year. It's been going on for years. When can we now start to see the right political will to finally resolve this?
Look, like I said, the right political will is now there. We obviously have now started. There is a company that is appointed that has started work in Royval wastewater treatment works that will be dealing predominantly with the management of the sludge. That tender is to the tune of 290 million rand. That currently work is being done to deal with your belt presses. We're procuring 2 more, ensuring that we're taking more sludge to the drying slab, over and above everything that we will deal with the aeration, as well as dealing with the work that needs to be done to ensure that we optimize the functioning of the plant. So that work is being done. There are also on a different level, there's also now the dredging of the maturation ponds in Royval wastewater treatment works to ensure that anything that escapes or goes through partially treated can be trapped in there. So a lot of work is being done in Royval itself as we have started. But over and above that, you would know that we have committed now to reprioritize the USDG grants to ensure that we start in earnest with the expansion of Royval wastewater treatment work to up it to 200 megalitres per day, which should be more than enough to deal with the affluent that comes, which is currently sitting at around 130 megalitres of effluent that we treat per day. So over and above the will, I think that the boots are on the ground as we speak, and work is being done in Royval as we speak, and that is what the city is currently doing with all other interventions that we will unpack as we go forward with this conversation.
Mr. Okwiteng, just to bring you in again, you hear Mr. Dow here, talking extensively about the work that has been done to go to the source of the problem, which of course is at the Royval water treatment plant. Now, this plant has been the subject of this so-called program to address the problem for many years now, even under the ANC administration when the party was still leading here in Tshwane. Can you maybe bring us into the picture? You've been involved with this crisis since it started. As far as we know, this project had to actually be completed by around 2017. Where did things go wrong?
Well, I think the issue has been that there was politics were at play, and as HRF we have always said to all the officials to say, let us put politics aside and deal with this matter, because this is a matter of life and death. But I just want to get in as to what the MMC has just said in terms of that the first one, the contract has been appointed. And I've seen the program that states that this process will take plus minus 36 months to complete. And when you do that program, it doesn't immediately stop the flow of the sewer into the Apis River. So by the time they finish, how many liters of sewer would have already gone into the, because what we need now is a temporary source whilst they clean, they upgrade the river and later rehabilitate the Apis River. That's why as HRF we are saying there is two pipes, one from the east which is from the Rusty Venter pipeline, the other from the west, which is from the DD pipeline, which stops somewhere in Steenvaart.
Okay, I just want the MMC to come in so that we can keep the conversation flowing. As he said, an interim plan is needed while we still look for the long-term permanent solution. What would that interim plan be?
The interim plan is in place. Number one, the interim plan as things stand is, you know, that we are taking water from the DD pipeline, which there is a tanker program currently. We have established static points where people can get water to deal with the problem that the lady had alluded to say some people at night when they come late and they cannot freely move. So we're dealing with that, and we're adequately bringing enough drinking water. We continue to utilize the state-of-the-art facility that we are sitting at, which ensures that the water that we get from the taps meets all other parameters. The turbidity is right, the clarity is right, the smell is not there. It can do every other thing except that they can consume it. So you deal with that. Is the interim plan that we are talking to. Meanwhile, we're also looking at the feasibility, and it's at advanced stage of just extending that pipeline from Block DD all the way here to Temba and ensure that people get the same water that the people of Soshanguve get, which is a decision that should have been taken, which I believe that the talks are at advanced stage with Rand Water, because there is capacity to do that. And once we can do that, then we will continue the work at Rooival. So like I said, it is multifaceted, the challenge, but also we are dealing with it from all angles, and there are solutions that we are bringing to the fore as we move forward with this.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to take a short break and give it back to studio. When we come back, we delve deeper into the matter and we tackle the political nuances that are perhaps at play here. And we will be asking the panel here whether the water crisis here in Hammanskraal has become a political football. We'll be joined by, of course, the ANC councillor from Ward 75, and that is Mr. Silo Mpacha. We'll also be joining the conversation when we come back. For now, let's toss it back to studio.